So, I did it. I found the worst short story ever, and as funny as it is, I feel that people need to be told about it. So, Green with Envy, here we go.
This is the introduction song. It's not very good, but it's not too long.
So I have a quick confession to make. When I'm bored, I will sometimes go onto the Amazon Kindle store and just browse through all the weird erotic fiction they have there, okay? So like it's porn. I don't actually read it very often, but like the covers and the titles and the descriptions of the books are often kind of fucking funny because a lot of weird shit happens in these. Like, you know, there's standard weird shit, like, you know, there's the BDSM, 50 Shades stuff, there's vampire romance just kicked up to 11 and given all a bunch of sex stuff, but then there's also like shapeshifter and like just weird fucked up fantasies that some people have, and I'm not judging anybody for that, okay? I'd like to make that clear. If you're into this, no hard feelings, it's just kind of fucking funny to me. And yesterday I found a short story. It was only 99 cents. That's the whole reason I bought it. And it might be the worst thing ever. It's called Green with Envy, and oh, for starters, the cover looks like it was made in 5 minutes by a 7th grade art student. The description is kind of weird, and it was really short, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just read that. That sounds funny. I'm just gonna read the description for you real quick to give you an idea of what I was working with at the beginning. So, Evelyn Starr is a perfectly normal young woman, except for one thing. She's a virgin. Sounds pretty normal to me, but so far not too bad. After a night unlike any other, she runs into Bryce Waters, the most handsome, successful man she's ever met. And that sentence is missing a comma. So you know the editing process for this was fucking amazing. And he can't seem to keep his hands off of her. I think you should call the police if that's the case. But there's more to this seemingly normal businessman than meets the eye. Will she be too afraid and stay far away from him? Or will she give in to the passion that threatens to consume her entire being? So, pretty dumb, but it's like, just stupid enough that you feel like, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be taking itself seriously, but it's not gonna be good. So you're like, okay, yeah, this sounds funny. From the first paragraph, it sounded like something that someone made that was bad on purpose, and I was happy about that. So I'm just gonna read the first paragraph real quick. I've never been what you would call a pretty girl. My whole life I've struggled looking into the mirror and seeing my massive 125-pound frame. No matter how hard I diet and exercise, my thighs will only ever squeeze into a size 2. When I was a teenager, I tried my hardest to shrink my waistline, but nothing ever seemed to work. By the time I started college, I just stopped caring. So, reading that, I thought, okay, yeah, this is just bad on purpose. There's no way someone actually meant this to be taken seriously. Like, this is a joke, and it should be fun. But then, like, it just becomes harder to tell later on. Like, it only took me about half an hour to read this, or possibly less, I don't know. I kind of lost sense of time after a while. But it goes back and forth between something that's bad on accident and something that's bad on purpose, like a parody of the 50 Shades and shit. I should actually explain the plot real quick before I start getting to that. So, it's just about this girl named Evelyn Starr, because, yeah, that's a real name that a real person would have. She goes out to a club with her friends, and then while they're there, one of her friends takes her phone and starts trying to call somebody's ex-boyfriend, and she says things to him like, yeah, and you can tell your little whore friend that she can stuff all 151 Pokemon up her loose, dry cunt. That's really what it says here. I'm not making this up. And, so it turns out, while they were calling her boyfriend, they accidentally hit the wrong number, and they call up some handsome billionaire guy named Bryce Waters. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Bryce Waters is his name. And then, after all that, Bryce finds out they're drunk, so he's like, tell me where you are, I'll come pick you up. Because that's what you say to some stranger that just called you over the phone. That's how humans act, definitely. And then they fucking tell him, and Bryce drives them there, and then he fucking drives them home. And while they're there, he gives Evelyn his business card because he's like attracted to her, I guess. But honestly, I don't even think they mention how he's attracted to her. Yeah, they don't even say. They just say that Evelyn finds him attractive, but it doesn't say why Bryce likes her, so that's kind of weird. So then a week later, Evelyn goes to this, like, job search thing, I forget what they call it, at Bryce's company, and she runs into him again, and they start talking over coffee, and then they have sex. Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler alert, they have sex in this book. And up until that point, it's kind of boring, but also it's funny, because like I said, they have the Pokemon line, which I laughed my ass off when I read that, and there's a lot of just like little bits of dialogue and shit like that, which convinced me, yes, this is a joke. And then I got to the sex part, and I was no longer sure if it was really a joke. This is gonna get a little gross, so I'm not gonna read the super gross parts, but this will get a little weird, so just bear with me for a second. I'm gonna read a few bits. Wetness begins cascading out of my pussy and onto the sheets. Within seconds, they are completely soaked, like they'd been put under the shower head. This was definitely written by a dude. Okay, like, it says that the author is Isabella Marcos, but no, this is a dude. A dude wrote this. And then it also has bits like, his muscles bulge out as if trying to reach me through his skin. What? That just weirds me out. I imagined his muscles, like, writhing around in him. That she describes his balls as being as smooth and bald as vultures' eggs. And beyond that, I really just don't want to read any more of that, because it's pretty gross. So yeah, they start having sex, and then halfway through, Bryce turns into a certain children's cartoon character. I don't think I want to spoil it, because some of you might actually want to read this. So I'm just not going to spoil it. He turns into a certain children's cartoon character, and then they finish having sex. And the entire time, I was alternating between just laughing my ass off and sitting there horrified, because God, I don't even know how to quite explain it without going into super detail, but I think there's 5 or 6 different terms for semen that they use in this. They call it love juice, man gravy, baby batter, penis pudding. Like more euphemisms for semen than anyone ever needs to use in their book. Like if you need more than 1 or 2, maybe 3 words for any sort of bodily fluid in your book, you've done something wrong. So yeah, that's really all there is to it. I mean, I saw it was under shapeshifters. That was one of the tags, so I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised. But I was expecting him to be like a fucking werewolf or something, and not a green cartoon. So, yeah, this is pretty fucking funny, honestly. It's only 99 cents on Amazon. I think I'll put the link in the description, because, honestly, seriously, just pay the 99 cents, take a couple of minutes to read this shit. It's hilarious, but it's also kind of gross. So, just, seriously, don't do it if you're squeamish.